always said. That's what they really thought. But the main good thing about church is that the Herdmans aren't there. Ever.
Ooh, son, I don't think that's a very Christian sentiment.
Well, it's a very practical sentiment. Charlie was black and blue all last year because he had to sit next to Leroy Herdman in school.
Is he the worst one, Leroy?
They were the worst one.
Ralph's the biggest, so if Ralph gets you.
That doesn't make any difference. Elias isn't big, but she's fast, she's mean, and she bites.
I'm sorry I asked. Just stay away from all of them.
That's what I said. Stay away from them, go to church.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you feel that way.
Why?
No complaints this year about the Christmas pageant.
I'm not gonna be a shepherd again.
Well, just tell Mrs. Armstrong you want to be a wise man.
I don't want to be in it.
Everyone's in it. Think about how I would feel sitting there on Christmas Eve if my own children were in the pageant. And think about how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you, Bob?
Well, actually, I didn't plan to go. You know how crowded it always is. They could use my seat. I just planned on staying at home, putting on my bathrobe and relaxing. Besides, nothing new ever happens at the Christmas pageant.
Well, there is going to be something new this year.
What?
Charlie's going to wear your bathrobe.
You just thought that up, Grace.
Why don't you be Joseph? Elma Hopkins will pay you $1 to be Joseph. Elma's sick of being Joseph all the time just because her father's a minister. Nobody wants to be Joseph.
Nobody wants to be in it.
Beth, what are you going to be in it this year?
I'm always in the angel choir.
Well, why can't Charlie be in the angel choir?
Because I can't sing.
From what I've heard in the past, that's not a serious drawback. Boy, Way in the Manger always sounds to me like a closet full of mice.
What do you wear in the angel choir?
Bed sheets.
Oh boy, some choice. A bathrobe or bed sheets. So
You know, Mrs. Armstrong works very hard to give everyone a lovely experience.
Oh, Mom, Mrs. Armstrong just likes to run things.
But right, you know. She directs the Christmas pageant, she runs the potluck supper, and she's in charge of the bazaar. I think Helen Armstrong would preach the sermon if anyone would let her.
Is that George Armstrong's wife?
Yes.
Oh, well, maybe she'll try to manage the hospital, because that's where she is. I ran into George at the drugstore this morning, said his wife fell and broke her leg. Was going to be in traction for 2 weeks, laid up till the first of the year.
The first of the year, they'll have to cancel Christmas.
Wait, she's in charge of Christmas?
Well, she's in charge of the pageant and she's in charge of the bazaar. I feel sorry for Helen, but who's going to do all those